2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sound test is good. 1, 2. Okay. So I'm in the studio in just a moment, and we'll be ready to run through our new product. This is a live recording, a live streamed recording in our studio. Now, normally we wouldn't go about doing this sort of recording live on air just at the moment. We would record them offline and then put it out. Let's just, got a second camera here, so we'll just pop that into shot as well. This will be it is a bit of a live project, so you'll have to bear with us. But it's interesting because what we wanted to do here was give you a little bit of behind-the-scenes look at how the studio kind of runs. This is you'll have to excuse the attire. Normally, for some of the presentations, I would come on in a suit or something like that, some kind of branded wear. But this really is about showing you some of the studio facilities and giving you a bit of a quick look behind the scenes. Now, what we have a few props laid out. We've actually got 3 kinds of studio kit. So the first, which actually I'm filming through here, is our main 4K studio cameras, and that runs into a live vision mixing system in the gallery with VT, graphics, live streaming, and multiple different pieces of technology that allow us to do quite interesting projects and quite varied projects as well. In the studio here, well, I'm also showing off a few things. So first of all, this is one of our 3 big studio cameras that we use for our sort of studio-based recording. We can also take that out with us for the big projects, so the big conferences and that sort of thing. Behind me just here, we've got our another one of our rigs. So this is more of a portable rig that we take out when we go to standard business conferences, when we go to any kind of big multi-camera event. And it's a really nice kind of setup because you've got multiple camera inputs there. We can actually take in 8 inputs or run a basic bit of VT, graphics, that sort of thing. And of course we can live stream as well. So live stream via a mobile phone if we're in a field, or if we're at a venue we can plug in to your wired Ethernet, or also run via the 4 or 5G connection there via a mobile phone or a dongle, what have you. So there's quite a range of different bits of kit, from the big cameras to the slightly smaller and live stream based cameras, and all the way through to our rucksack. We've got a rucksack kit over there which allows us to actually go out to a studio, sorry, not a studio, this is live TV or live streaming, so you'll have to forgive me. That kit there allows us to go out to any kind of real fast turnaround or low budget, or we've got to get on the underground and run through crowds of people to kind of get something quick and easy. So that's our over here we've got smaller cameras that allow us to do that and have very quick and quick turnaround. You need a live stream this afternoon, we can be there. So it's that sort of service, but all the way up to the fully managed multiple camera conferences with interactivity like breakout rooms and other things. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about the live streaming side. What I've just got here, a simple bit of paper which is going to take me through some of the things that I want to say around our new product, which is, we're calling it the so new, I'm still referring to the paper here, but it's so new that we've been working on this sort of project for years, but we've actually put it together into an off-the-shelf production. So companies quite often ask us to come in and film their quarterly reports. And as you imagine, we've seen many hours of these, many thousand hours of these type contents being put together for different sorts of companies. Mainly when a company wants to engage with their staff, they will do sort of live stand-up meetings or Zoom meetings, Teams, that sort of thing, or send out a newsletter. But quite often, unless you're actually tracking real engagement, a lot of this content is sort of consumed in the moment and dropped, or not even consumed in some cases. The nice thing about a quarterly report, which is what I'm presenting here, we call it the Executive Business Report or Executive Business Quarterly Report, is that it allows you to sum up the performance of a business over a period of time. So where you've given people a reasonable opportunity to kind of act on the information. Maybe if they have to increase sales, then they can go out and actually do that. Or if it's a case of, improving customer service or asking more questions, or, any of these kind of things, improving design work, any of these kind of things that are bookmarked on at these quarterly intervals. This production allows you to kind of visit that. Most importantly, it's about isolating that feedback from your little sort of Teams meetings. And it really is a different method and a different type of communication that gets listened to more. So without further ado, I've given you a quick overview, and I'm going to snap into some sort of presentation mode now, and preferably stay in line with the camera so I am in the focus point. Again, one of the nice things about our studio setup, just before I jump into this, is that we can scale, and actually we're built to be really, really efficient. So in some cases, it can just be a single person production or a couple of people working on camera and live editing. The other thing is for this sort of thing, we will live mix and live record this content. And the benefit of doing that is that you will actually see a reduction in the overall cost of production. So one of the big differences that really, really stands out here is that we don't have to go through and pull in all our sources and re-edit it. All the cameras are recorded down live, and all the separate angles are also put together in a all live mixed down, so we can then take that into the system and then just put some tweaks in and get it out to you. So big difference in terms of speed of turnaround and quality. So in this setting, I think it's probably best if I introduce myself. My name is Paul, and I am the Managing Director here at Concept Media Group. Just to give you a quick overview again of the business, we are a live streaming video production company for corporate and for video ads. We also work and have worked for many years in TV advertising. So we produce TV ads either in our studio or out on location, and also we buy the media as well. So we can do that for you if you don't have a media buyer. We also work with other agencies. So if you run an agency, and whether that is another video production company and need more resources or access to studios or our facilities, or it's a case that you're a digital agency that you need video content for your clients, or you're just or you are a marketing agency broadly, and you're looking to increase into an area where obviously the kit and the expertise is very, very costly in this area. To add that into your business, we can work with you and either white label or be a partner, or just work alongside by referral. So we've got all different scales of business, and more importantly, this is a collaborative industry. We're all about working with other people, with other creatives, and indeed the studio itself here is a collaborative hub. So I'm going to come back in a few moments just to kick off with this, but for now I'll leave you with the studio space. As I say, this is a behind the scenes look at how we would put together a simple briefing. Nothing's going to change in terms of the visual here, and I'll probably also keep my little memory aid, as it were, not memoir, and we'll take it forward. But just want to give you a little bit of an insight as to how we do things and what we do. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We'll go for our recording. Right, so 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Just checking some of the kit that we've got, making sure that we don't have any. There we go. Sound is off on our screen. We've got a couple of bits of kit alongside the camera just to give me timing information and other things. This is a live recording for Concept, where we're going to be talking about our new executive quarterly business report package. So I'll be running through that very, very shortly. Just adjusting a few of the lights just to bring us up a little bit, and we'll just take it from there very, very shortly. I think it's always quite nice when we do a behind the scenes look at the business, because it gives us an opportunity to come in and talk a little bit about what's actually going on and things you wouldn't normally see. So actually behind me I've got some of our live streaming kit, so some of the people that were on earlier would have seen that, and that's quite fun and interesting. But yeah, I'll give you a quick tour now. So in terms of a quick overview, we're Concept Media Group, and we have a number of different websites and service groups under that brand, which covers off the sort of services that businesses and advertisers need. So at the top, we've got Concept Production, so conceptproduction.co.uk. And that is all about the filming aspect of what we do on the day-to-day. That can be, it is specifically about video production from the perspective of a video production company. So we would look at scripting things with you, creating narratives and filming, whether that's on location or in our studios here. We've also got green screen and various other backgrounds and things like that. So the scope of what we can do is quite significant. Range of different cameras, range of different bits of kit, all for different types of job. But conceptproduction.co.uk, if you take a look at that, it covers everything from creating video ads to corporate content, and actually that's what we're here to talk about today. One of the other things that Concept Media Group does, one of the major things we do, is live streaming. So we can go out onto location either with the full studio kit that we've got here, which includes 3 big studio cameras and lots of other supporting cameras too if needs be, and VT, so videotape as they used to call it, but videos that can be lined up to be played live as well, and live graphics and titling, as well as interactivity, so we can go out over platforms like Zoom or Teams and use all the standard interactive tools there. We can also go out onto location very, very easily with our new small rig. This is something we didn't really have until more recently, because we tend to use obviously the very high-end studio kit, but we can also go out now with our smaller rigs and set up a couple of cameras and record events. So anything from, standard corporate live streams, events on location, even, gigs in a field. So with that kit, we now don't need the large van to take our kit on the road. Although we still will take our studio setup on the road if you need something of that scale. And then going a bit further down the scale again, we've got over here a live streaming kit which is really designed for low budget or portable applications. So if a charity needs our support, we do offer discounted rates, and a very, very quick turnaround. We can go out with the kit that's over here. You can see a few of the smaller cameras, and then over there is the equivalent of what we've got here, which is the live streaming rig. So we can live stream out via a wired Ethernet connection or via a mobile phone or both to add in a bit of redundancy. Anyway, what I'm here to talk about now is the concept, the executive quarterly business report. So I'm going to run through that and just explain a few of the things. And because this is a live recording, you're going to see it warts and all. So all the little bits and pieces where I do retakes. And then the idea is I'll just cut this down into a smaller video, which we'll put up onto the web page. If you're joining us from social media, you would have seen the links there that actually have links to the page as it currently stands. So this is a new product for us, and what I'm going to do is start from the top and take it through from there. Give me one moment and I will be back with you. Okay, so the key thing here is just about making sure we've got a nice bit of light, which we have from over here. Just going to pull that down more to sort of head height and more of a tilt on that. Okay, that's ideal, that's what we're looking for. So we've got a nice bit of light down the side of my face from here. We've obviously got some side light coming in there, some nice fill, you know, from those sides. So sound is good and clear. Nice lapel mics, and that's one of the most important things actually about concept, is that we're not only about visual. A lot of people think the video is about what you see, and not a lot of thought is put into the quality of the sound. Well, we use lapel mics and good quality broadcast grade lapel mics to capture the sound, which makes sure you minimize things like echo or distance or that tinny sound that you often get with on-camera mics. So quality of sound is something really quite critical. What I'm going to be talking through today is just an overview of what we deliver and then what we do and how we do it. So I will just take a brief look. We've got various options as well, including live streaming. So normally what we would do if someone comes into the studio, I would talk them through the narrative that we want to put across. There's lots more detail in here as well, such as some of the things that we won't put out necessarily on our website until we start engaging with the company, such as what the actual program format is, because that's one of the key things about this service. So again, for those joining, this is a live recording of a website video that I'm going to be putting up onto our concept production website. I was also running through a few other things. We've got conceptlive.co.uk, which is a great website just dedicated to live streaming. So it gives you an overview of pricing and options for that. And then we also have conceptstudios.co.uk, which is about this space here. You can actually hire this studio from us and bring in your own kit, or use our kit, or use us. We've also got other rooms like dressing rooms, galleries, breakout rooms. There's a new sound room which we're in the process of putting together now as well, which we're quite excited about. And the venue itself has fibre internet, so there is fibre that runs directly to this, directly to the studio. Okay, are we ready to do the first recording? Okay, yep. That's fine, yep. Let's just do a countdown and we'll start off. So the first thing we're going to be recording today is going to be a quick intro to the quarterly report. So I always say, read your script out loud first. A lot of people will actually read it internally, but you can't hear how your voice sounds. So it's really important to kind of get that out and get your voice out. Let people hear it, but more importantly, let yourself hear it. You tend to change the way you inflect and the different tones and the volumes and the excitement. What sounds good in your head is not necessarily what comes out of your mouth. So without any fear whatsoever, I'm just going to read this out loud. So the Executive Quarterly Business Report is a video and podcast format. So it's a video and podcast format. We record that with obviously using the same kit, and then just do a slight edit and convert that video footage into a podcast that can be streamed out. Now, podcasts have a lot of significant value in business because it allows you to listen to things on the road. People can set up playback in their car before they start driving and then just sit there and then listen to the content. And actually that's a really good space to get to people. You know, they're in their cars, they're driving, they're thinking about what's going on, but it just sits there in the background, and you know, like in the same way they'd listen to a story, and it actually goes in quite well. So podcasts are a really nice method of engaging with people. And also, because we record with podcasts in mind, you don't get that kind of video sort of feeling like you have to watch the video. One of the things that we're aware of, and another reason why these work better than this type of recording works better than a Zoom or Teams stand-up meeting, which have their own importance, is that we know that sometimes people will stick their screen and microphone, their camera and microphone off, and then go and make a cup of tea and wiggle the mouse every so often and that sort of thing. There's apps that can be downloaded to kind of wiggle the mouse for you, or even some inventive souls have sort of created these little place thingies that you put your mouse on and it just moves it every so often. And what that's about is that people aren't engaging with your content. Now, this is a live stream presentation at this stage, so you're just seeing the behind the scenes, but what I'm explaining to you here is why you know, that content isn't engaged with, and why this actually is something that works alongside that, but works really, really well in terms of getting that engagement. So the Executive Business Report is a video and podcast format production. Our Executive Business Report is a complete production format designed for organisations that would benefit from an additional layer of professionalism and polish to their communication style. We create a platform for your business line managers, finance, HR and senior management team to brief employees and other stakeholders within your organisation. So just remember, I'm just reading this out loud now. I will go off script. That's absolutely going to happen, but it's just about me reminding myself, and I will flip back to this. So at the moment I'm reading, eyes down, this is just a rehearsal. Professionally filmed content mitigates the erms and the drifting, increasingly time-consuming presentation style of a live team Zoom stand-up meeting type format. It neatly segregates detailed company information and strategy. So there you go. That's an interesting one. It reads nicely in your head, but when you read it out loud, you jump over the word. And this is one of the things that we do as a production company. We'll sit there and talk to people one-to-one in the studio environment, just in a friendly way, and say, read it out. Okay, could you just say this like that and what have you? We'll guide you through the process. So regardless of whether you're a seasoned pro at presenting or someone who's actually new to presenting, we will take you through a journey so that your content ends up being nice and strong. So running that again, it also neatly segregates detailed company performance and strategy from the daily task and granular project view. Actually, that's one of the key things about this new service that really does work very, very well. It's, when you're in detail, taking a granular view of a project, one of the key problems that you're going to have is that people are going to be, thinking about, and you'll be discussing individual aspects. Quarterly reports and these quarterly videos that we're proposing are more about stepping back from that, and it's also a great way of not sort of honing in on specific people or passing blame for an overall thing. A team delivers a quarterly report. Individuals may participate in projects, but a team delivers quarterly results. So, that's one of the nice things about this, is that it's not really about honing in on that very, very granular, detailed aspect of a project. And it also allows you the opportunity to think ahead beyond the project. So if a project has done exceptionally well, you can think ahead to what you're going to do as a business to make it, continue that performance. Or if a project hasn't done very, very well and it is, caused a bit of a strain either on the quarterlies or on customer relationships, it gives you an opportunity to think beyond that. And that's really, really important from a motivational perspective. Your audience will appreciate the concise nature of the experience and are more likely to engage and to listen and engage with you. So that's a fair comment. Just based around what I was just saying there. So I'm just going to adjust one of the cameras before we go in for a take. This one of the nice things about a live studio scenario is that we're really all about getting that kind of giving you, my audience, the view of what we're doing, how it all works. I'm just going to double check focus on this camera again before we go in. I should be standing next to that we've got some really nice go-to lenses here which just keep it super, super sharp and super. Right. Reflections in glasses, looking for those, can't really see them. I can see it there. No, that's fine. Okay. So I'll be focused to that point, which is where I'm standing. So I should now be in focus. That other camera over there is a little bit low. I'm just going to tilt it up. Again, live production. So this is great. You get to sort of see everything that's going on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're a little bit high and a little bit over that way. That's fine. Just getting a little bit of feedback from the folks in the gallery. In some productions we would have camera ops that, it's specifically their job to do these adjustments, but in other cases, just to keep costs down for people. We know it's not only for individuals but for businesses at this time, it's a bit challenging. So it's all about, for us, delivering something that is affordable and high quality. Right. So just having a quick run through. For those joining us in now, this is a live stream where I'm going to be recording a video for our website. We've just gone through a bit of an explainer about the studio first, and now it's down to this. So I'm going to do the first couple of paragraphs first, or the first paragraph where we talk, and I'm just going to read that once more out. The executive quarterly business report. Okay. So it's interesting. One of the things that I do, I always start with the word "so," which inevitably I edit out. So this is a live environment, and you're seeing it warts and all. The Executive Quarterly Business Report is a new service from Concept, which is about actually creating something that's very accessible for businesses. You may not have used professional video previously for your... Okay, there's a little skip. You may not have used professional video previously for your quarterly reports or for updating staff generally on how the business is going, but actually it's a great way of engaging your staff. One of the challenges, however, is, I've gone a bit off there. I'm going to start this again. So we talked through adding a layer. I might actually just do a quick reference. Sometimes we use auto cue. We have that as well. So, and the nice thing is, this shows you that it is a very human process. People don't come on as robots. I certainly don't. And our presenters, whilst they're a bit more polished than me, I'm the studio camera and production person. I'm not a qualified or paid presenter. So this is a human being in a business doing exactly what you would be doing in my footsteps right now in my shoes if you were standing here. And it's actually quite nice because you can kind of see that it's not that bad. It's actually quite a fun process. And it also gives you an opportunity to think about your core messaging as well, which is never a bad thing. So the Executive Quarterly Business Report. So I'm here today to, no, we won't open with that. I'd like to introduce to you our new service, which is the Executive Quarterly Business Report. Which is the Executive Quarterly Business Report. It's a complete production format designed to give businesses that need that additional layer of professionalism in their content that little bit of polish. Complete production format designed. It's a complete production format designed to give businesses that would benefit from an additional layer. See, actually now when I read that out, it doesn't sound entirely human, so we would make a few edits. It reads well on screen, it certainly writes well, but actually when I'm speaking it out on the visual medium, and it doesn't quite sound as fluid. So let's just adapt to that. And in fact, we'll throw the script down and I'll practice what I preach and we'll go straight off from there. Hello, I'm Paul from Concept, and what I want to do today is talk to you about our new Executive Quarterly Business Report. The service isn't just about bringing cameras and microphones and systems into your premises or filming at a television studio. It's a complete program format where what we can do is work with you, take a standard off-the-shelf structure, it's easy for me to say, where we can take, it's a format where we can take a standard off-the-shelf program structure with different briefings, different sorts of people within your organization talking about certain subjects. And we've laid out the standard things that we've seen time and time again over the last 20 years of being in business. So the quarterly report is actually something where we not only help you identify who speaks and the content, but also we guide those people through that process of filming as well. As I say, we've seen over 20 years of this sort of content being filmed, and then we've gone on to edit that content and deliver a polished, finished piece. So what we thought is, rather than leaving the onus on you, the comms team or marketing team, to create this content yourself or try and figure out a structure, we actually have something off the shelf that you can use with your teams, and we pick and choose the bits that are relevant for your business. We know how long it should be, we know who would normally speak at different intervals, and we certainly know how to begin and wrap up the content. So consider this an easy way to take your business communication to another level. Now, you may already do things, and probably already do things like a weekly Zoom or Teams meeting, or a weekly newsletter or bi-weekly newsletter that goes out. Those are great for looking at what the business is currently doing, but you might not always get full commitment from people that are actually watching or reading that content. And indeed, you know, we are aware that in some cases the screen is off, the microphone's off. Do you know that they're actually there and engaging? The quarterly report is about giving people a bit of breathing space to do their jobs and to do it well, and then to review performance overall without picking out individuals, unless there's obviously awards to be given. When actually talking about that, when you're giving awards, it adds a layer of prestige to that presentation, you know, which is very good in terms of boosting morale within the actual business. Not only does this contain everything you need in terms of being off the shelf, but we actually work out the intervals that you want to run out. So again, when I talked about the monthly, right, let's do that little bit again. This is a live stream. This will be edited out, or edited and just tweaked. Excuse me. So, One of the nice things about a quarterly report over, let's say, a weekly stand-up meeting or Zoom, Teams kind of scenario is that you get the opportunity to talk more broadly about how the company is doing. You look at how if you do newsletters or weeklies, how that then has reflected in the quarterly report, in the quarterly performance. Let's start that bit again. Just recollect my thoughts. This is live stream, so for all those people watching out there, it gives you a real insight as to how these things go. And as I say, it's a bit of fun. You get to do things over and over again, if needs be, or you just come in and deliver it all off in one take. I'm a business owner. I run the studio and run the teams here. So for me, this is a great opportunity for my teams to see me in front of the camera, but also for me to show you that actually, you know, you don't have to be a seasoned professional to stand in front of the cameras. In terms of you may already run weekly reports, and quarterly reports offer a great way to differentiate in terms of style and also on the nature of the content that you're presenting. In a weekly type of stand-up meeting, you might be going through individual projects with explicitly granular views on how those projects are going on, who's responsible for what. You might get reports from individual team members at a working level about how those projects are going. Whereas in a quarterly report, you tend to take more of an executive overview as to how the company has performed over the last quarter. That takes into account the ultimate performance of those projects and gives people an opportunity to reflect in a more concise way how they are impacting the business from their day-to-day activities. It also gives you an opportunity to close off chapters. On a weekly thing, you're constantly going over stuff that you've previously gone over, and you'll focus on this, and when a project is finished, you'll then look at the next one. Whereas with a quarterly report, it gives you an opportunity to kind of bookmark performance and allow people to then either improve their performance or continue that great performance and understand how those changes, micro changes that you've managed over that previous period, have been put into action. This is a live stream, so bear in mind to anyone tuning in now that this will be edited into a slightly more polished version. And we might make this live stream available afterwards as well, but this is just to give you a bit of an idea as to how we record this sort of content. So I'm just going to take a look now at my script. We've talked briefly about the content, so it's business line managers. So the format includes slots for business line managers, HR, finance, overall project directors or company directors to actually have an opportunity to say how they feel the company's been going, to run through figures, to show slides, and it's done in a less granular way that the day-to-day or weekly Zoom, Teams or stand-up meetings would cover those subjects. So it's really about bookending performance to a certain point and then discussing broader strategy. It's really not a place, and our content plan doesn't sort of lay out a route where people then talk about individual projects unless they are very, very large projects that span multiple quarters. This is really about laying out how the company has performed, looking at strategy, looking at how previous strategy has been implemented, and then also taking those learnings forward and discussing, showing a degree of fallibility, but also, more importantly, showing a certain level within the business. So people that are working at an executive level, this gives them an excellent opportunity to talk at that level with their people about the projects and, you know, provide an insight and a level of candor that just isn't normally available or just would seem out of place at a weekly kind of meeting. So for communications and, you know, comms and marketing people, this is an excellent way of not having to do loads of work yourself. You don't have to say, if you've never done a video production before, let's do that bit again. So for comms and marketing people, this product from concept is an axe. I know what I want to say. It's all up there. It will come out in a moment. So for communications and marketing people, this is an absolutely ideal product for you because we have everything laid out. As I say, we've worked with some major companies, blue chips, political organisations, so we know what the general look and feel of these type of productions should be, including how long and what various people should say. We're also very good at guiding people through that. So your team members, your management teams, etc., we will work with them during their live slot to actually get the content down. And we're very good at making sure that people that come to the studio, or if we come out and they have a slot to film with us at your location, that we make sure that we get the best from them in those moments. So for you as a comms manager, this is an off-the-shelf opportunity to communicate with your people, your stakeholders, your staff, your contractors, tell them what's going on from a company perspective, and then get that sort of buy-in so they understand, at a broader level, how their performance is affecting the overall company performance, but without picking out individuals. That said, and I know I've mentioned this earlier, that said, it's an opportunity for you to recognise individual performance or team performance in a level of more prestige than at the standard stand-up Teams or Zoom or newsletter type communication that you would normally do. So a quarterly bookends, quarterly results video or podcast is an excellent opportunity to really highlight excellent, performance by your staff, stakeholders, contractors, etc. So how does it work? Well, we actually run this. So how does it work? Well, from our end, what we do is we will workshop with you, understand whom in your team is appropriate to speak. I'll just do that again. So how does it work? Well, the first stage is a workshop. We will, and we can do this over Zoom or Teams or in person. You can come to our studio. We're quite happy to come out to you and do a site recce, which is always advantageous if we're coming out onto location. During that workshop, we would be looking through our content plan options and say, look, this is what would be standard. And then we would work with you to identify who's best to fill those roles. In some cases, it's quite obvious that an HR person might be then speaking about HR strategy, looking at things, and we will give you also a content guide for them. So are they looking at, or are they going to be discussing subjects such as the, health and safety performance, reporting of near misses, things like that? Are they looking at changes in, the company pension, or requiring people to, just reminding them that they need to fill in any kind of auto-enrollment? Any of these kind of subjects that may be relevant to HR, including incentives to bring other friends into the business, colleagues from other employee, etc. So nice opportunity for them to talk about that and to talk about things like employee well-being and just motivation. In another perspective, you might be looking at finance. So that's a great opportunity to get the PowerPoint presentations or Google Slides out. We have an easy way that we can live mix that in. So when people are talking through, we'll help you also with that as a comms team, make sure that we stay on track and we don't kind of differ and go off. So this really is about understanding that what we give you is not only cameras, editing, and a list of things to film, but also we work with you to get that into a nice, concise 5-minute block per team member, something like that, that works well. You then have the opportunity to present larger projects or discuss sales or launch new products. It's a great space to actually talk about that. And then of course, any of the footage that we create here, if you want, can be edited down into smaller, shorter kind of videos that can be put out on your social media feeds. In some cases, we know that you need to keep confidential some of the data and information that you present. So in that case, we can help you restrict access to only the right people as appropriate for that content. How you actually get that out there, we have numerous ways. We can either provide you with the video stream and then the sound file, which is effectively the podcast, or we can host it for you using our Knocast platform. Knocast is a really easy, intuitive platform that allows you to put video content or sound onto a system where people log in and the content's then shown. Company communications are always at the top, but then you can also add in training, which is another one of the things that we do, training videos, or even editing other Zoom videos into content that can go up onto Knocast. But your corporate communication here, so your executive quarterly business report, would fit perfectly into that space, and you can monitor whether or not people have actually watched it, and even give them a quiz if you like. So, give me 1 second, I'll just clear my throat. The last stages that we're going to talk about so the key question, why would you choose this product or service? It's a service. Live streaming, not live television, but as good as. Right, here we go again. So why would you choose this live? Got live on the brain now. Okay, for anyone tuning in, this is a live recording of a video that we're going to be putting onto our website. So you're seeing it warts and all recorded because, again, what I want to do is to show you how we do it. It's going to probably amount to a video that's about 5 minutes in length. It's a product explainer, and the opening parts will just jump in, explain some of the product, and then we'll go into more detail. So people that want to continue watching clearly want to know a bit more about the service, so we go into greater depth. One of the things that we will intersperse is a call to action, which is a moment where we ask people to engage with us. So if we've done the selling and the selling has worked well and the people actually like what we've proposed, we then tell them how they can actually buy it. And for those that aren't ready to buy it, we continue talking. And if they're listening, hopefully they want to know a little bit more about the service before engaging. We're always happy to give tours and to talk through and show. So this is a live stream where I'm actually recording a video for the website. Preparing for the next step, which is your audience will appreciate the concise nature of the content. It's not going to be the general run and general chitter-chatter about how this aspect has done or how that aspect has done. And also you can include video recordings. We can go out to site and do a little fly on the wall of each different part of your business, which is a great way of allowing other team members to see what happens across the business. There's always scenarios where certain team members get more visibility than others. So this is an opportunity to shine the light on other people's performance and motivate other people in your team. Concept is absolutely about delivering value for money, delivering a competitive service time and time again. So we've packaged this up in a way that makes sense for the needs of business. Video typically can, if you engage a professional video production company, become quite expensive depending on who you use. I mean, we pride ourselves on our competitive pricing and the quality of our service, using things like a constant improvement program to make sure that we're always ahead of the curve. But still, when it comes to things like this quarterly report, we understand that it doesn't all happen at one moment. So rather than charge a fixed fee, you can buy it on that process. You can buy it using that method. But what we actually offer instead, which makes far more sense, is a subscription-based service. So the Executive Quarterly Business Report, there's a period of time there noted, the quarterly bit is really the intervals that most of these type productions tend to be recorded on, certainly with our other customers, and it makes sense to work on that basis. Then you can actually pay for it either on a quarterly basis or on a monthly basis. The subscription itself is more geared, and more discount is geared towards the monthly setup. So for a small, I'm going to run that one again. I'm not entirely happy with my delivery. This is a live stream that will be edited down. So you're seeing behind the scenes for anyone who's tuned in now. And we are recording this for a video on our page, which if you're joining us from social media, you can see in our post the link to that page. We offer the quarterly business report. Let's get the naming right. It's all about brand. We offer the Executive Quarterly Business Report on a 2-option purchase. Let's run that one again. We offer, you'll notice that I just reset my hands down there because the more, it's good to talk with your hands, it creates engagement, but you should really start each section. We offer the Executive Quarterly Business Report in 2 ways. One, you can buy it ad hoc, as and when you need it, or the way that tends to be preferred these days is by subscription. What that does is allow you to spread the cost of your video production monthly, but more relevantly, we apply a discount to it. From our perspective, we want to work with companies on a regular, permanent basis. Some of the companies we've worked with as long as the 20 years that we've been going. But it's important that you find the setup that fits your business needs. We're confident that the subscription method actually works really, really well in that basis because you spread the cost monthly. Not all the work is done in one hit. So we might start workshop, not all of the work is done in 1 week. So what we would normally do is start the workshopping with you maybe a month in advance of filming, potentially. We can do very, very quick turnaround, same day in some cases, particularly where a company needs to get an urgent announcement out. But for the regular quarterly type production, we will workshop through with you, identify who's going to speak, work with you to identify the best way of getting those people structured within a program schedule, and then of course we'll work with you to film them. It doesn't necessarily all have to be on the same day. We appreciate that some directors or some business seniors aren't always available, so we will be as flexible as we can be within the scope of the subscription. And in terms of the way you pay, it's set up so you're invoiced monthly and it just comes out on a monthly basis. This rolls quite nicely because then you get into a flow of regularly producing these communications. The content is polished. You're using us, a 20-year-old video production company, to create the content for you. And then, from that perspective, you also know where your budgets are going. Now, I'm going to re-record that. Sorry for anyone who's watching this live. But it's quite important that we get this bit right. So this is the sort of, to some extent, the call to action. So I'm going to run that bit just again. There's 2 ways that you can reset the hands. Let's start again. There's 2 ways that you can purchase the Executive Quarterly Business Report from us. As a production company, we want to work with you over the long term, and we understand a quarterly production, a quarterly report is something that is a regular occurrence. So from our perspective, we've made it a competitively priced subscription as our preferential option. You can buy ad hoc, but we apply our discounts on subscriptions because it works in a number of ways. One, it allows you clear vision of the overall annual cost of running something like this, which again, we work on a competitive basis with continual improvement. So from our perspective, we deliver as much value to you as possible. But also it allows you an opportunity to think through and just work with us, according to your timescales, to actually create this content. So when we workshop, you've then got enough time before the actual filming. And because it's a subscription, we want to make sure that your content is captured. We're not sort of counting the clock. We're not saying, oh, this is filming day. We know that not all of your executives can make it. So under the subscription model, we allow for filming maybe a day or two if needs be, or in our studio and then out on location. And then also value-added aspects such as showing off what individual staff or teams do, providing that kind of visual to other team members who wouldn't normally see. It provides recognition, and within this subscription format, we include the opportunities to go out onto location to do those little mini video inserts, which also make great social media videos in their own right. So when you're engaging with your customers. So hopefully that's been an insightful overview as to how our executive quarterly report works. So in summary, we've launched a new service that allows companies to give a quarterly video update, but it's filmed professionally by a team of seasoned pros. We've been at this for 20 years, and what we have done over that time is we've really understood how big companies and major companies communicate with their staff really strongly and really effectively. And that's something that we can offer to you. It's an off-the-shelf service which allows you to very quickly hit the floor running. You don't have to do any of the program structure. We can help you do that. We can help you prepare scripts or bullet points. And critically, it's an easy, instant service. So from the minute you engage us to work on this with you, we will set up a workshop, we will help you create the content, and then once we're set and everyone's booked in their scheduled slot, we'll come out and film that content and then finish up, edit and deliver this in a video and a podcast format. So in summary, a subscription for an off-the-shelf program format that's ready to go. You simply work with us in a couple of workshop sessions, and then out the other side you get this really polished video that people will actually see, your staff will see, and then they will engage with. So there's more there's more information on this page. Just take a look down on the actual website itself. Don't need the word actual. Let's do that again. This is a live recording for anyone joining us of one of our new website videos. We're just set in our studio, a few props around showing off the different cameras, and earlier on in the stream I explained a little bit about the studio and how it works. We're coming up for 2:15 now on Thursday the 1st of June. Believe it or not, we're at month 6. That's wow, where did the year go? Okay, right. So you're watching a live stream. This is a behind the scenes, a real opportunity for you to see how this content is recorded. So I'm just going to wait for the gallery to confirm, and I'm just going to do another quick overview again. Okay. So the studio cut the word so. The executive quarterly business report is an off-the-shelf production that includes not only the cameras and the editing, but also our expertise and knowledge as to how these kind of productions typically run. Concept Media has been in... let's do that from there. Concept Media has been in business for over 20 years, and we have the experience and knowledge as to how these productions typically Concept Media has been in business for over 20 years, so we have the experience and knowledge as to how these productions typically run. We've filmed thousands of hours and produced countless productions for companies across the UK and in some cases worldwide, where they provide a quarterly update to their staff and stakeholders. We appreciate that creating something like this may seem daunting, which is why this service has been put together. We actually come to you for a workshop with your comms and marketing people or yourselves with a complete production plan. And from that, it includes the schedule of who fits in where and how you sort of derive a narrative that people will be interested in watching. By the time you've finished and we've recorded this, you will have a nice, professional, concise video that not only your people will watch, but will also provide bookmarked stages of performance within your company that you can look back on and we can pull video from as well, which is a great way of differentiating from those standard weekly Teams, Zoom or email newsletter performance updates. So we jump in, we give a little bit of a recording, a professional kind of setup, 5 minutes per speaker. It could be someone like from HR, finance, and ideally, you have a representation across that. And our complete program format will allow us to lay something out that is bespoke to your company, but fits the standard mold of professional productions of this nature. It's offered on a subscription basis, which means you simply pay monthly, and then we come and film on a quarterly basis, deliver your video and podcast, two formats which work really, really strongly, particularly when people are out and about. Podcasts are great, and for people that are working from home or working in the office, they can watch the videos quite easily as well. And of course the transcripts that can go alongside, so full accessibility, subtitling if you want, and these videos are designed to be released on a quarterly basis, so you don't get into the granular project view and the daily grind content of your Zoom meetings and your Teams meetings. Instead, what you actually do is deliver something that bookmarks the overall performance of those intervals and allows you an opportunity to reflect and close off. And that's important. Progress is about understanding the past, understanding strategy going forward. And these videos allow you to do that in a professional way. So get in contact with us. I'm very happy to give you a tour of the studio, show you our facilities and discuss costings. But from a subscription basis, it's very, very competitive. It's a small monthly sum, but it allows you to deliver something that will be so valuable within your business. Thanks for watching. Okay. It wouldn't surprise me, this is for the live stream audience at home, if that last bit is the only bit we use. I might cut some of the earlier segments out and intercut those with what was recorded here. But as you've seen there, so we're now 20 minutes into the overall recording. We're an hour and 52 since this live stream started, which was from setup to finish. And what we've now ended up with is perhaps some micro videos to go at certain sections of the website and a main opener, which goes at the very, very top. Thank you for watching this live stream. I'm going to end this very shortly now. But once again, if you want a tour of the studio, if you need to use studios, or if you want a video production, live stream, we've got full scale. So everything from our large studio cameras that we love so much and our gallery with all the live streaming kit and professional graphics, playout, fiber and 4G redundancy all in there, through to our portable rig, which can actually go out in a car now. We don't need the big van to go out and do a smaller scale production. We can take the big cameras out for the larger scale live streams, but a lot of the conferences are now run from our kit behind. And for the run, what they call run and gun, which is you just sort of run in, you set up your cameras, you film, and then you need to get out quickly. We have a small portable rig that's also incredibly affordable, so our smaller cameras just all wraps up into a rucksack, and even that is full HD for live streaming over 4G or over Ethernet. So you know, all of these scenarios, whether it's in the middle of a field or in your own premises or in our own TV studios, we have the cameras and expertise to deliver your production. Thank you. On that note, we'll call it a day, and I'll leave you to it. Thanks.